Spartans! What is your profession?
While Philip II of Macedonia was conquering Greek city-states left and right, Sparta was left alone. Philip achieved a crushing victory, and Sparta was relatively weak and without walls. Philip sent a message to the Spartans, saying that if he invades Laconia, you will be destroyed to never rise again. The Spartans answered with one word, if. When someone asked why they visited disgrace to those among them who lost their shields, but did not do the same to those who lost their helmets or pectorals, the Spartan king, Demaratus, he answered, for these latter they dress for their own protection, but the shield is for the common good of the whole line. Do not feel fear before the crowd of men, do not run in panic, but let each man carry his shield straight to the four fighters, considering his own life as hateful and keeping the dark spirits of death as dear as the sunshine. Xerxes wrote to him, it is possible for you not to fight God, but to put yourself on my side, to be the only ruler of Greece. But he replied, if you had any knowledge of the noble things in life, you would abstain from coveting the possessions of others. But dying for Greece is better than being the sole ruler of the people of my race. When Xerxes wrote again asking to surrender his arms, he replied, come and take them. Herodotus reports that shortly before the Battle of Thermopylae, a Spartan warrior named Dieneces was informed that the Persian archers could erase the sun with their arrows. He replied, well, then we will have our battle in the shadow. It was natural for Spartan women to think and speak like Gorgas, the wife of Leonidas. It is said that when some foreign lady told her that the women of Lacedaemon were the only women in the world who could govern men, she replied, for we are the only women who bring forth men. An old man wandering the Olympics, looking for a place, was ridiculed by the crowd until he reached the seat of the Spartans, after which all Spartans, younger and older, rose up and offered him his seat. The crowd cheered, and the old man turned to them with a sigh, dictating, all the Greeks know what is right, but only the Spartans do it. Let a man learn to fight first, daring to perform mighty deeds, not where the missiles will not reach, if he is armed with a shield, but coming close, where the fight is melee, inflicting a wound with his long spear or sword, taking the life of the enemy, with his foot planted beside one foot, and his shield pressed against shield, his crest against crest, his helmet against his helmet and his chest against his chest. Engaged in action, let him fight from man to man, keeping safe in his shield, half his sword or spear. Rise up, warriors, take your position next to each other. Our feet are wide and rooted like oaks on the ground. Learn to love the sunken black shadow of death as much as you love the light of dawn. Here is courage, the best good of mankind. Here is the noblest prize a young man can strive to win. The Spartans are equal to any man when they fight as individuals, fighting together as a collective, they surpass all other men. Prejudice caught in an ambush by Affinities, the Athenian general, and asked by his soldiers what should be done, said, what else except you, to save his life and for me to die fighting. The walls of Sparta were his young and bordered on the points of his spears. In response to the man who sought to know why the Spartans used short daggers at war, he said, because we fight close to the enemy. For the Spartans, the city was not defined by grand public buildings, but by their own ideas. In essence, Sparta was a city of mind and heart, existing in its purest form in the disciplined march of the hoplite phalanx on the way to war. In Sparta, Mothers were said to say to their children, "Return with your shield or upon it." When asked what was the greatest benefit Lycurgus conferred on his countrymen, King Agesilaus responded with contempt, "Pleasure." In response to some of the citizens who wished to know how they could prevent an invasion by armies, he said, "If you remain poor and none of you wish to be more important than the other." Alexander, the son of Philip II, when someone asked why the Spartans did not accumulate money in the public treasury so that those who were made their guardians would not become corrupt, he replied, "Since we allowed citizens to only engage in athletic competitions where the arm is not raised." Someone asked what the reason was, and he replied, "So that none of the citizens get into the habit of whining in the middle of an intense struggle." In response to a man who raised the question of how one could rule safely without the protection of a bodyguard, Agesilaus said, "If one governs his subjects as parents govern their children." When his brother told Telecles that the citizens did not behave themselves as they did with the king, although they were of the same family, but with much less consideration, he said, "The reason is that you do not know how to submit to injustice, and I know." When one of the elderly men told Aegeus in old age, as he saw the good old ways falling into decay and other malicious practices creeping around, he said, "So everything was getting upside down in Sparta." Aegeus replied with humor that things are so, but following a logical course, "If that's what was happening when I was a boy, I used to hear it from my father. Everything was upside down between them, and my father said that when he was a boy, his father had said it to him. So no one should be surprised if the conditions later are worse than those earlier, but I wonder if they grow to improve or remain approximately the same." Spartan philosophy continues to inspire people around the world. It teaches us the importance of self-discipline, courage and resilience. By understanding the history and principles that shaped Sparta, we can find ways to apply these lessons in our own lives, seeking a strong mindset and a constant pursuit of excellence. If you liked this video and want to continue exploring fascinating topics like this, do not forget to subscribe to our channel so as not to miss any future content. And if you found these lessons valuable, leave your like and share with your friends so that they too can be inspired by the philosophy of Sparta. Together, we can build stronger and more meaningful lives. Thanks for watching, and until the next video.